If you just joined us right now, I'm afraid you missed the first segment of this very lovely episode of The Desk, where we're talking project management. And the man in the chair, ladies and gentlemen, I just told you, he's not a guy who just picked up things and pocketed them. He is a project manager and from GKK. This is a property solutions and service company in the country, and they take in a front row seat as far as property management is concerned. Now, you can follow this very lovely discussion on our social media platforms. That is Shadrach Kisame on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You can do it for U24. You can do it for at the desk 256. Do it for Danube Home Uganda, and remember, Danube Home is on Kampala Road, opposite Shell or opposite KCB. Just walk in. Lovely environment, lovely people. If you want, for instance, this one is an exclusive. We are in their gardening area. Now, this is a set for if you're there looking for a garden equipment, a garden set, look no further. Danube, they have homeware, kitchenware, and gardening like where we are. But we get back to Mr. Abdul Nasser. You were telling us about the roles, responsibilities. Maybe you just want to wind up on that before we actually go into some of these challenges that we were trying to pick up on.
Sure. So another role that a project manager offers is to ensure that there is availability of resources. Resources are very key. For example, like the construction business like we own, is the cement there outside, are the tiles there, is adhesive there, all these equipments. For example, if these resources are not there in time, it affects the project. The project will be at a standstill. So as a project manager, you should ensure the resource availability by making the requisitions in time, by projecting well and seeing that there are no discrepancies. The other role that a project manager should do is accountability and documentation. You should make sure that there is accountability to also win the trust of those who put you where you are. The problem we find is sometimes lack of accountability. You say you spent this much, but you don't have these receipts, you don't have these tax invoices. You should make sure that the accountability is really at stake.
Accountability, isn't that, Abdul, isn't that a point to caution maybe our fellow youth who want to, because at the end of the day we want to drive that Mercedes-Benz very fast, and then at the end of the day we have our accountability is staggering. What do you have to say?
It's really a big challenge. That's why these days they fear to employ people, the youth. Because the youth want to be rich very quickly. They want to make that right, they want to own that good phone, and they think the best way is through cheating, through making these deals, and which will cost the project. So accountability wins you the trust of your boss. You should be very good at accountability, and one of the things I know I do is accountability.
So you do not take any.
I don't do that because I believe whatever they give me as salary is what I take.
Okay, you want to finalize with the
with the responsibilities as I wound up. I believe some of these responsibilities, if they are really done very well as a project manager, a project cannot fail to push on. Probably I can lastly say that as a project manager, you should escalate, you should inform the corporate, the top management. You don't need to do everything without informing them. If there is this progress, let them know. If there is this halt, let them know. So I believe also the project manager should also be in coordination with the corporate management to inform them on what's happening.
Right. Now, do you think we as the youth, can a youth work as a project manager with minimum supervision? Is that a reality?
Yeah, a youth can work as a project manager with minimum supervision from the corporate management. They can, though sometimes the youth, there is some bit of laissez-faire, in economics. There is a way they do things,
with laxity.
And I believe sometimes the top management has to keep supervising them and trying to check them out. But it becomes very comfortable when the boss relaxes. For example, my boss relaxes and leaves me to do the things, leaves me to inform them. That's after winning their trust. The boss is there to inform them. And when he comes to check around and he sees work is in progress, they really feel happy and they feel so proud of you. And I also encourage the bosses to also reward in a way of thanking. Not just a reward, but just that piece of thank you, this is good work.
The appreciation.
It makes any worker very happy to continue moving.
Okay, you've done the work. Well done. It comes with challenges. What are some of those burning challenges that you say, man, Shadrach,
Yeah, there are some challenges we face in every business.
Right.
It is very lackadaisical or very unfair for anyone to say that they can move without challenges. And
Right.
some of the challenges first in project management sometimes is the poor team skills. For example, when you keep on bringing all these people to work, there are some sections. Maybe this section, some worker is not so good at what he's doing. And they hold the project, they delay the project.
Right.
That's one of the challenges that we face. The teamwork skills. When someone, when you're employing someone, can tell you, "I'm so good in this,"
Yes, right.
and you reach there, they're lacking the expertise. So we face that. And another problem is also sometimes the poor goals and objectives are sometimes first in a project. Probably the whys, the hows, and the whens, when they are not well communicated to the people, people are there, they are not driven so much. So sometimes that's also a challenge you face. Another challenge you face is in availability of resources sometimes. Maybe there are some holes in
and it's
in
out of your
management.
power as a project
Yeah, and
manager.
it's out of your powers. You wanted these resources to come, but because of some challenge, maybe there are some delays here and there, and resources delay. That also challenges the work, and it holds the work. So those are some of the challenges we face in project management.
How easy is it for you as a project manager to understand the vision of your boss? Doesn't it come with friction?
Yeah, and understanding the vision of the boss, I don't think it comes with friction. Once the boss briefs you and makes you learn what are we on, me as a project manager, I just have to drive. I just have to keep pushing.
Is it easier for you to understand? I mean, because you see, some bosses have they have targets, and for you to understand how important or how urgent that target is for you to understand what exactly they are doing, to understand the vision really.
Yeah,
how frictionless is that for you as a project person? Because for you could say, no, I'm taking today off, and according to him, you needed to be there because of how urgent the project needs.
Yeah, I really understand that sometimes you have to go beyond. For example, if you have to work from say 9 to 5, and there's those days you have to go past that time, because when the boss briefs you, my boss, Mr. Gideon Chiromira and Mr. Godfrey Chiromira, they make you understand very well what are we up to.
Okay.
There's a way you own this, there's a way you own
yes,
it, you feel
yes.
it's yours.
It's yours.
And that's a problem that the project managers face. They think they're just working for money. I don't work for money, I work out of passion. I work out of whenever something is successful, I want to be there and say, you people, you know what, I was also part of this development, and I feel that's what drives me.
Right. So, in your own knowledge, what do you think are some of these quick fixes that we can do in terms of solution?
Yeah, some of the quick fixes we can do in terms of solution. For example, the problem of the expertise, the poor skills in workers sometimes. It can be solved by liaising with these people even before the project starts. You have to set some of those very strict guidelines. Let them bring their qualifications. Let us try to check on them. Let's monitor them. So if you do this very close supervision, very close screening, it can help us to map out all these people who lack skills. And the problem of the poor goals and objectives, it can come in by first orienting the team. Let everybody be aware. Let the bosses also be very open to their project managers, that this is what we're up to. Let the project managers feel that they're part of this process. And I believe that can also push forward. And but with credentials, as we go for a short break,
when it comes to credentials and then people not being as efficient, and yet they have the papers, do you think this is a problem for the education system of the country? People are qualified and yet they lack the efficiency and expertise.
Very, very true. There are many people who have very good papers. Every day I see this. They have very good papers, but they can't express these papers. They can't perform. And we blame the education system.
Really? And these kids just lazy?
They're not lazy. Sometimes we blame it, the education system, because it's so theoretical and less practical. But then I don't want the kids to use that excuse, because even us, we've been through
the same education system, thousands of people.
Exactly. We shouldn't blame the government so much. I've always told the youth that before you blame the government, what have you done for your country? What have you done, you as a person? You want the government to always come. They always say, government, where are you? I always hear that. So I believe that that's very, very critical, and it's very true that there's those with good papers but lack the skills to push forward. You can find someone with very good papers where they can't even operate Microsoft Word. They can't.
Absolutely. Now, on that point exactly, I'm going to go for a short break. When we come back, we're going to actually dig deeper into that discussion, and we discuss this girl who went on the streets and was saying,
so
what next?
What next?
Because I think employers have lost confidence because of such things.
Exactly.
People have papers, but they lack the expertise.
Exactly.
So after the break, we're going to have a larger discussion in depth.
Sure.
All right. Now, I tell you, do not go away. The discussion is getting heated up and heated up. Now, remember, when it's Wednesday, it's all about the desk. One show, one presenter, and of course, one guest. One television. Thank you very much for keeping U24 on your television. Remember, we are at Danube. Do not go away. The desk returns in a bit.